Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Old School Nerd. You just watched me do a reaction to the new Mushroomhead. Now, what you may not know is tomorrow is August 9th. The new album, Call the Devil, comes out. Now, this one is a very interesting album. So far, we've done 3 reactions, 3 totally different songs, totally different types of songs and videos. All of them very dark, mysterious, but different musical scores, which has got us all guessing. What is this album going to be like? Well, I have an idea. Let's sit down and talk with the mad genius behind all of this, Skinny. He's the drummer, one of the founding members, and kind of the OG of Mushroomhead. He's agreed to have a conversation with me today. We're going to talk about some of the stuff in the past, some of the current stuff, and what is the future of this band? Well, I don't know what the future is, but so far, it's looking really bright. Hey everybody, my name is Old School Nerd, and I have the honor and the privilege of speaking to the iconic Skinny from the band Mushroomhead. How are you today, sir?
Hey, brother, thank you so much for taking the time to do the interview, man. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
I'm the one that's honored. Let's start off by, I want to give you a personal message. And I think many people have told you this already, that COVID was a very horrible time in the world. And I just want to let you know that A Wonderful Life, that album, got me through some pretty rough times in that time. And I just want to let you know that that album really meant a lot to me. And I actually made a video about it before. And I was worried about things because I know that as a family, as a band family and personal family, the family of Mushroomhead probably got hit harder than any group of people I've ever heard of when COVID hit. And I was sending you guys good energy and vibes for that. And to see you guys back now with a new album and new positivity and an amazing tour and everything, I'm just so pumped for you guys. I just want to let you know that this album coming and the last album really hit me right here. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Right on, man. Yeah, thank you so much as well. A Wonderful Life, the album came out great. It just came out at a very strange time.
It,
As we listened back through it, and one of the only things we could do to really support that and continue to, really enjoy some of that, the album itself was, while COVID was happening, was to continue to make videos. So it definitely kept our interest for a while. But those were some crazy times. We didn't know if the world was going to turn back on or not. So, with that said, there was a lot of emotions that went through in the course of a couple of years there, from a lot of, pent up angst all the way to, straight up depression and everything in between, doom and gloom, and a lot of, anger and, just a lot of hostility. And we just mashed all those feelings up post COVID and took it to the studio. And, a lot of that result you'll hear all over the album.
yeah, everybody knows that Mushroomhead's an up and coming band, new on the scene. 30 years. Congratulations, 30 years. What a crazy ride it has been. Congratulations on that. There's a few things that I remember growing up. I was in college, first time I heard Mushroomhead. Now I'm an old man. And I'm honored that I've come back to metal, and I've only been back at metal during COVID. I went through a dark place like a lot of other people, and Mushroomhead was one of those things where I was like, wow, they're still here. And what the hell is this? These videos are insane. And there's a creativity that is almost unmatched. Yes, there are these dark mysteries about your band, both past and current and in the future. The storytelling is unrivaled, and you let that reflect in the videos. So just if you could, because I know a lot of this direction and creativity comes from you. You help guide a lot of that. We know that. How do you even begin to tell these stories? And has there ever been a place where you ever doubt it? How do you overcome some of those things?
You know, it's great that you mentioned the doubt portion of it, because I think I'm constantly doubting it and constantly pushing myself, like going, does it look good after a while? Or is this a good song after a while? Like stepping out of your comfort zone as an artist, I think is truly really important. If not, you end up making the same, art over and over. And I think that's been part of it. But as far as like where a lot of this stuff comes from, some of it is truly it generates, the yin and the yang. The song generates the video, or the visual generates, in audio. It's crazy how they feed each other. But things definitely evolve. And once, like, say you pick a single, it kind of it is a little easier to define what kind of video it needs to be, and what kind of, how deep of storytelling are we going to go. I think on the last two videos there's extremes, as far as, one is more straightforward and just like the song is, and the other one's a little bit more textured and cinematic. So I think, we kind of match the video theme to the song on this one. But as far as where that stuff comes from, I couldn't really tell you. Sometimes, like I said, the inspiration just comes from the song, and you just have an idea, like, and it's a basic idea, just like with the color concept on Fall in Line was just, a red color palette, something we've never done before.
It
So,
reminded me of those videos where you see everything is in black and white except for things that are red.
Yeah.
But it was to an extreme. And like you said, with Fall in Line and Prepackaged, one was more nuanced, more seductive in its storytelling. The other, right in your face, like we're used to with Mushroomhead. Sometimes Mushroomhead will be like right to the point, and then sometimes it's more nuanced. And I think that's part of that, like you said, the yin and the yang, the up and the down. This album comes out at a very interesting time. It comes out August 9th, which is a big day for y'all, isn't it? Don't you have something else going on August 9th?
Yeah, actually, the European tour starts that day, the first show.
Oh, so it's
Bochum, Germany.
Yeah, it's not that big of a day then. It's
No, we're really really looking forward to it. Again, last time we put out an album, we weren't able to line up any touring. We weren't able to go out and perform brand new material. We weren't able to, support it in the traditional sense. So fast forward, 4 years later, now we actually get a chance, because before that, the last time we got to go, support an album that we had freshly just put together would have been Righteous and the Butterfly. So this is like 10 years in the making of getting, when you look at it that way, right? We haven't got out to support brand new material like that in a long, long time. And then during COVID, it was like, all right, heavy metal drums are obviously not essential, and we're not sure if they're ever going to be. So, eventually the world did kick back on. But for a minute, we were like, are we ever going to get to do this again? Yeah. But, the world's turning back on with a vengeance, and we definitely are hungrier than ever.
You mentioned the videos and how that album came out. It was your debut album on Napalm, and obviously they were behind it because those videos were just the costuming, the themes. You guys already own the epic mass game. We know that the story behind each person and personality and storylines, they go all the way back, but it was like, wow, this is fresh. It's new. It's a brand new beginning. And then to get hit by COVID. And what really gave a lot of us hope was we saw you guys starting to get back into touring a little bit, and you were playing shows, and we were cheering for you and everything else. But there's something on your calendar that you do every year. And at the end of your US tour, and by the way, everyone, if you go into the description now, I have all of Mushroomhead's information, including that US and European tour schedule. You guys are known for a Halloween show, and you always do it back home. It's like a homecoming Halloween show, and it's well known. It's almost like a music event in and of itself. And when someone busted out their camera, and during the Halloween show, when the intro to the Heresy kicked off, and the crowd lost their minds, and these are not just hardcore Mushroomhead longtime fans, because it is a homecoming show. It is your family and friends. But to see the people that wondered, hey, are we going to get a second shot at this album? Because it was robbed. It was taken away. So now it's almost like you guys get to do the whole Guns N' Roses double album thing. Really, on this tour, you could lay out so much material, and you have a catalog. Like you said, 30 years. How are you going to pick songs for these shows? There's so much to choose from.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. Like we said, album number 9, right? So you take 2 songs off of every record, and there's 18 songs. We're gonna be here for a minute, either way. So, but I will say this back to the annual, or just whenever we can, we try to do it annually. That Halloween show at the Agora Theater. We just started off doing that in the early 90s, and there is a hometown vibe. There is just there's something about that month, obviously with Halloween and just our vibe. It's basically like every holiday wrapped up into one for us. And something about the crowd again, man, to hear, man, 2,000 people singing the lyrics. They're louder than the PA sometimes. So
I saw that. It made me cry. I actually made a video, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's back! Holy crap!"
Yeah. The Halloween shows are awesome, man. We have an amazing time every year doing it. So, if you're in the Cleveland area, I highly advise come on out if you're into Halloween.
If you can get tickets. It is a sought after show. Okay, we've talked about all the nuances, all the things we love. The album, it comes out in August, as well as the European tour. We've already seen a couple of glimpses into that brain of yours. You don't have to spoil anything, because I wouldn't ask you to do that. But what else can we expect video wise? And are there any particular songs in the album that have special meaning for you that we need to be aware of? Or is there anything that is going to kick our ass?
Well, on the video front, we are hoping to, get another single out. We're trying to work something with Napalm now as far as scheduling and when we could actually get something done and when they would want to release. So that's still kind of up in the air. Nothing been filmed yet, but plenty of ideas, and there's plenty of songs too. I think that's the next, which way do we go as far as the single? But there's going to be, obviously a lot more touring, and we're just really excited again to get out there and play some of this brand new stuff.
There is a kind of a difference, and we're not going to talk about the Mushroomhead family, because that is a large group of people over the last 30 years. But there are some new ideas musically you guys are bringing out that you probably would never have thought of, even imagined 30 years ago. Tell me about how this whole rhythm section's working now, because there's drums and then there's percussion and then there's different vibes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because it is actually confusing some of us that are trying to keep up with the evolving musical sense of Mushroomhead.
Right. Well, I think not knowing, is part of, the whole thing for me, and it keeps it exciting. It's constantly evolving and it's always changing. But like as far as like looking at 3 drummers, we're not all sitting down behind the kit playing at the same time. You know what I mean?
No.
And when it comes to extra percussion, a lot of that is live. And when we're actually participating in the water drums and not actually behind the kit, because we will switch off, who's sitting behind there. Aiden's been doing a lot of the work lately, and it's because he's just amazing. The kid never fucks up. He's awesome. So,
and we're not gonna talk about, you and I both have some gray in our beard. We're not gonna say it, but when you got a young gun who can hold it down and give you a little chance to do a little bit more artistry, a little bit more little exploration in the musical sense, it's fun to have that.
Well, let me tell you, after 30 years behind the kit, I absolutely, I love playing water drums more. It is one of the coolest things, to be able to do, to be able to, be multifaceted and say, you play these different positions and just enjoy the stage. So I have no problem sharing any of the performance end of it at all. I think it's great that we've got such a bunch of well-rounded, talented people that can sit down and kind of do any of it at any time. It's great.
It gives you such a dynamic. You have multifaceted vocalists that can scare you, they can amp you up, they can tell you a story, they can seduce you, they can make you feel comfortable, they can creep you the fuck out all at the same time. and it gives you such a dynamic and an open palette to tell a story. You're doing it vocally and you're doing it with musicianship. So that's one of my favorite parts about the new album, is that I'm wanting to see what kind of Pandora's box we're opening here. Because you've put this lineup of people that is not just, when we look at the lineup, it's not just vocalist, it's keyboard, bass guitar, keyboard, samples, and so many different types of rhythms and percussions and melodics. And this is not, it's a heavy metal band. No, it's a fucking experience. It's storytelling. So how much of this stuff are you going to be able to utilize in the live perspective? How hard is some of that stuff to move with on tour and stuff?
So, and I'm glad you brought that up because, this album, just like many, is very diverse. Mushroomhead, I think that's the commonality of the Mushroomhead albums, of how diverse they are. They're kind of, all over the place, from really aggressive to really doomy and, kind of somber, and then back to, uplifting and even hopeful. The problem we find is some of the stuff that we personally like is more of that doom and gloom, and it's slower paced, doomy, like heart wrenching, get the, razor blades out type of, almost depressing stuff. There's doomy shit on every record, and we tend to like that. But in a live environment, it doesn't always play off so well, and some of the songs that we like, just don't have as much energy in a live environment. So live, we tend to go with stuff that bounces and rocks the whole time, if possible. Now, if we have more than an hour to play, then we'll bring the energy down and then bring it back up. We enjoy doing that as well. But yeah, it's really tough sometimes picking a set list.
Yeah, during COVID, my go-to when things were down was that doom and gloom, that slow, methodical. That score in Heresy is just, oh my god, it's just so it's so doom and so low end, but it's such a powerful story. And then to get out of it, I'm listening to other parts of the album, and like you said, in the new album, there's going to be times where if you need to get up and go, there's going to be a track for you. If there's a time when you're just trying to relax and unwind, there's going to be a track for you. So I'm interested in seeing how this album portrays that out. All right. Is there anything you need to let the fans old, the fans current, and the fans that are going to be seeing you for the first time? Because there's going to be people in Europe that are like, what the hell was that? And is there anything that you need, that you want to tell those people that see this video and be like, now I have to go see this band? Because there's going to be those people that are going to ask.
Well, I mean, first off, if you've been around for 30 years, thank you. And if you just tuned in last week, thank you as well. Seriously, there's, a lot to be said for a Mushroomhead show. It is very high energy. It is in your face. We enjoy crowd participation as much as possible. And it's definitely something to see. You don't really get the full effect just by listening to the record or watching a video, because yet it's a slightly different presentation of the band. So it's not necessarily what you think. So you should come out and check it out personally.
Whether you remember the band when they were all young people, or you remember the band 10, 15 years ago, or if you're just finding this band now, you're not ready for this version of Mushroomhead. Because if you're an OG Mushroomhead loyalist, a fan, it's not gonna, there's gonna be you're gonna play the classics, the ones that everybody loves. We know that. But they're gonna be presented in a different way. They're gonna be updated, they're gonna be fresh. And there's something to be said that, like you said, everything is bouncing back with this huge energy. And I think Mushroomhead, from some of some people took some videos of some of the last show you guys did, and they were like, okay, this is ridiculously interactive. And I think that's what people really need to check out. If you like a band that's going to take your energy and give it back to you, this is your show. Well, I do appreciate your time, Skinny. I really, really do. Give your entire family, both band family and personal family, our love. We are so glad you guys have come out on the other side of the last 4 years. You guys look better than ever, and with a new vigor. And man, if this album is anything like the last album, I'm hoping and I'm praying every day that you guys get the shot that you get a redo on that 2020 shot. That should have been the year of Mushroomhead. And if it didn't happen in 2020 and it was out of your control, 2024, sky's the limit. Go for it.
Right on, man. Thank you so much. I mean, all that really means the world to me and everyone else in the camp. We, really appreciate it. And absolutely, we are Mushroomhead in 2024 is just as hungry as it was in 1994. I'm not even kidding. And I think we have more opportunity now just because of technology and the internet and being able to share everything. And, like this opportunity right now, this didn't exist 30 years ago. So thank you for this. It really means a lot.
It was my honor. Everyone, that's Skinny. The band is Mushroomhead. Duh, like you didn't know. Album's coming out in August. Get your tickets now. I have all that information below. Sir, have a wonderful day, and I thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.